Welcome to Formosa Dream Chasers.
We're your hosts, Mary Ann
and Ching En.
Please join us as we explore the journeys amazing people take in pursuit of their dreams.
And get insights from their experiences.
Let's hit the road
and get started.
Hello, and welcome to Formosa Dream Chasers. In part 3 of our conversation with musician Harry Swart, we zoom in on the nuts and bolts of busking in Taiwan. If you're just tuning in, Harry originally came to Taiwan as an English teacher, but later made the bold decision to pursue music full-time by building his career, one street performance at a time. Beyond making music on the streets, what does it actually take to perform here? Today, Harry walks us through the practical realities, from permits and regulations to choosing the right time and place to set up. He also shares some of his positive experiences busking in Taiwan, including the small moments with strangers that remind him why he chose this path. If you've ever been curious about street performing, or you're a musician thinking about trying busking yourself, Harry also offers practical tips on how to find a good spot, connect with passersby, and build confidence as a performer. And you mentioned you have a license, so
yes.
Was it hard to get the?
Oh no, it's a funny story. So you're supposed to apply for it online, and you're supposed to have a video, and you're supposed to pay a little bit of money. But I just went straight to the cultural office. And I just did the tall foreigner thing, and I walked in, and everybody was like, "Oh my God!" And then I was like, "Okay, let's found somebody who spoke English from one of the younger ladies who works there, and she helped me with the website." And the older lady was like, "So do you have a video?" And I was like, "No, I have my guitar right here. I can sing you a couple of songs right now." And they were all laughing, and in the end, I didn't even have to do anything. I didn't have to do a demo. Don't tell them I said this. They might get in trouble. I didn't have to give them a video or do a demo. They were just like, "You look legit."
Okay.
They just gave it to me, yeah. So I have this license now, but it turns out they were right. They were right to believe in me, but it's just funny that I kind of Jedi mind tricked them into not worrying about really actually showing them anything. They just believed me. I guess they figured if this guy's in his 40s and he believes he can do music, let's just take him at his word. I don't think a grown man's going to come in here with delusions, you know. Well, I don't know. That's maybe how they figured. Anyway, so yes, you need a license and you need to book. So there are government-designated zones, and they're usually in public, popular places. And then it's like a little stage or a little corner, and then you can go there, and then nobody else is allowed to busk there. That's the whole point, right? Nobody can show up before you. If a busker's already there, you can say, look, bro, I booked this from 3 to 5. Let's try again next time, you know? And then I can call the police if they want to get antsy with me, right? So it's a government-sanctioned, regulated thing in Taiwan, and I think it's a good thing. So it's going to hopefully increase the quality of live performances in Taiwan.
Since you've busked, do you mind sharing what you feel the Taiwan situation is? Like, you mentioned that you think the government's doing a good job of regulating it.
I think that they're trying, you know, but it's like a lot of things. The laws on paper are great, but the enforcement is not there. But for me, it was a good thing because I got away with a lot of unregulated busking. Right, and I made some money, and I built up my self-confidence, and now I'm ready to do the legal way. Right, I've made enough money to buy myself some equipment. Before I was busking completely unplugged, and only last weekend did I get my microphone and speaker. And so only now, you know, I'm ready to play in a place like SKM Park, where you know it's a big space, lots of people. So only now I'm really ready to really hit the gas in performing for lots of people.
And when you perform, when you busk, what do you consider most? Because you were talking about the exchange of energy, the vibe, right? With the crowd. So then would I be correct in my understanding that you really pay attention more to what the audience wants, to their reaction?
Definitely,
and that's
yes.
how you choose how to perform.
That's 100%, yes. 100%. It's all about getting that. I mean, I obviously need to enjoy the music myself because that translates into good art, right? So I need to feel it. And every time I sing, even if it's for the 5th time on the same day, even if it's the same song, I still feel it. I still feel it as if it's for the first time. And that's important. And so the way I pick a spot is I was trying to tell my daughter, I'm coaching my daughter about how to busk now.
Okay.
And so my son too. And so I'm teaching them how to hunt for busking spots, right? So how do you hunt for a busking spot? You need a good flow of traffic. You don't want the place to be too comfortable. This is a funny thing now. Think about this. Like, you saw me Saturday night on that grassy hill, right?
Yes.
Now, you know what it was good for? It was really good for getting followers. And it was really good for the audience.
Okay.
Because they got lots of time listening to me singing.
Yeah.
And so they got a lot of value for their time, right? They got a lot of value for showing up. But for me as a busker, there were drawbacks. The drawback was I didn't have a lot of new people coming through.
Oh.
So I had the same people staying for a long time. They may or may not tip, but they don't go away. They stay for an hour. They stay for 2 hours. So that's not the best spot for making a living with busking. The best spot for making a living with busking is having a good throughput of people. You want to have new people coming and going all the time. So you want to have people coming, hearing you, staying for 1 or 2 songs, but now they got to move on because they're here for the market or whatever, right? They're here for the festival, so they never plan to stay with you for a long time. If you're at a place like Saturday night, that is the event. Like, that's the main event for them. They're there for 2 hours. They're like, yay, we're looking at the stars. We've got live music. We're not going anywhere. So different places are good for different things. I mean, look at the exposure I got. You may never have heard of me if I didn't play there, right?
That's true.
So we met on that hill, and so I figured it's good exposure. It's good for people to really get to know, really get invested in, this guy's got to hear him again next time. He got so many songs. So it's a different impact. Best way to get to hit all 3 targets, right? I'm happy, they're happy, and I'm making money. You want to hit all 3 targets. And the best way to hit all 3 targets is to be where there's a flow of new people all the time. And so you want to go to a festival or event where there's a lot of people coming and going, and then you want to be in a spot that's too noisy, that you're not blocking any traffic. And then, then you perform to what people want. So if you see there's lots of older people, play Beatles. If you see there's lots of younger people, play Bruno Mars, right? If there's lots of foreigners, you play something that, that the foreigners would respect. So I look at the audience before I decide what to play. And then if I have young people sitting, I won't suddenly switch to older people music unless I want them to go. This is the funny part. I found, like, I'll play something that I want to hear, but maybe the people who sat down, they sat down for Bruno Mars, but now I'm playing the Beatles, so they leave. But, I always see the bright side of life. Now there's space for new people who like the Beatles, So it works out either way. Like, if they like what I'm doing, then they stay around for another song. If they don't like what I'm doing, they're making space for new people. So it works out. I think their misconceptions might be negative ones. I mean, they might just expect to be ridiculed or looked down on or being an inconvenience or bothering people. They might think that that's how it's going to be perceived. And maybe that's just like a trick your ego is playing on you to keep you at home, just to keep you shy. I mean, I wouldn't say that if I was in London or Hong Kong, where I would expect hostility no matter what I'm doing, right? But in Taiwan, it's amazing how positive people are and how encouraging people are and how easy it is for them to slow down and make a video and smile and nod. So I think that there are negative misconceptions. My friend is a musician who's a much more experienced musician than I am and a much more skilled musician. And he's tried busking before. And he didn't make any money. Or he hardly made any money. And I was surprised because I started making money very soon when I started busking. And so he busked with me for a bit, and he was surprised that he started making money. We were making money together more than he ever made by himself. And now he's making money by himself busking. And for some of the things I told him to do was just play. You don't have to say anything. You just play for 2 hours straight. Because you never know who's listening that you can't see. Right? There might be somebody around the corner who's drinking coffee, who's loving what you're doing, but you're sitting over here. You don't see anybody listening, so you feel like you're playing for no one. And maybe if you just kept playing, then after 45 minutes, that person might finish their coffee and come give you a tip because they've been listening to you for 45 minutes, but you never knew. Right? So one of the things I told my friend to do is play your best things that you know people love. Yeah, just keep playing your best stuff for 2 hours straight. If this is a good misconception. Maybe a busker will think after playing for 30 minutes, If nobody looked at me and nobody put money in my bag, this place is a bust, right? And actually, you should just keep playing because the person that has the heart for your music just hasn't passed by yet. And that happened to me last night. I was busking at Ray Fong. For the first 20 minutes, nobody looked at me, and it was cold and lonely.
Okay.
But then it warmed up so much, and people were stopping and sitting down, and it's almost always like that. First, you're still warming up, you're still relaxing into it. People are still checking you out, maybe from a distance. Often from a distance. People, maybe they walk past you on the way to the market, but they'll listen to you the whole time while they're in the market. And then they'll come back maybe and tip you then. So you just have to have confidence that what you're doing is beautiful, and that you should just keep doing it for a good period of time so people have a long chance to hear you, and the people who you don't know can have a chance to come and thank you. And that's been my experience, and he was very surprised. Now he's having good success with busking. So that's an important misconception, is that if you at first find it unwelcoming, a little bit unwelcoming, just trust that what you're doing is beautiful and it will move some people. And you only have to move like 1% of the people that move past you to be able to make a living. You should just count on the fact that what you're doing has value, and that it's just a question of time before the right sort of person who can appreciate that value will pass by. And it's really worked for me so far.
Since we've touched about the topic of money, and actually this is something I am curious about, I was just wondering, based on your experience, how much can a busker make, let's say, in a day or a week busking?
So let's say, for me, it's different because my voice is pretty unique, and any person's voice is unique, you know. So a singer has a bit of an edge with busking. So, you know, if you have a good voice, you have a bit of an edge. But the limit to that is that you can only sing so many hours per week. Whereas if I play the violin really well, I can do that every night for 2 hours. I don't know, I'm not a violin player, but I'm guessing I could play the guitar every night for 2 hours. You know, so if I was a really good violin busker, so you could make maybe as the same or more money than I could because you can play every day, right? Mm-hmm. So per hour, let's say, if it's a good spot, like if there's good traffic, what that means is you have a flow through of new people that maybe pass back and forth for some reason, but you have a good flow through of new people continuously, and you have some place where people can sit and listen for a bit. And also, it's a commercial district, so they were planning to spend some money, right? So you're not out in the park where nobody's expecting to spend any money, right? In those, if you meet all three of those criteria, you have a good flow of people, you have a bit of space to relax for what they were going to do anyway. Maybe they were going to wait for the MRT, maybe they were going to drink their coffee, maybe they're going to have a sandwich, right? People are walking around in the commercial districts with stuff to consume, and they love to sit and listen to live music. So that's number two. And then number three, are they a bit spendy? Like, are they expecting to have a bit of cash in their pockets because they're going to the shopping mall or they're going to the market or whatever? So those are the three conditions I set, and if I have those three conditions, I expect to make about 1,000 per hour.
That is good money.
That is good money. That is good money.
Yeah.
And last night at Ray Fong, I was there for 1 hour from 9 to 10, and I made 1,600.
I see. I see.
And that's with the first 15 minutes being kind of a dud because my speaker wasn't loud enough. I had to turn up my speaker, and then I suddenly started making money. For example, on Christmas Day, there was a festival at Wei Wu Wing, and I made 2,000 per hour there. And that was without equipment.
I'm glad I talked to you and asked that question because I did not expect busking to provide that kind of cash inflow.
My friend did it with his instrument, and I don't think it was a really good spot. He made 600 per hour with just his instrument on a less than optimal spot on one of his first tries after busking with me.
So we've touched upon the things you enjoy the most about busking, which is that kind of energy exchange you have with the crowd.
Yes.
And there's this positive energy cycle that keeps on going on. But if you don't mind me asking, what are the harder parts about busking? What are the tougher moments?
Well, sometimes people request a song that I'm not very good at, and I have to let them down. But I just tell them, okay, I'll prepare it for next time. You know, while I'm doing it, I'm just in a flow state where I don't feel like time is really passing, and I'm not really thinking too much. Like, I'm really just flowing with the song and like observing and enjoying it. So it's a very emotional thing. And I can imagine if I was busking in a less safe place, then looking over my shoulder all the time would be a super negative aspect. Like worrying all the time that somebody is watching me and waiting for me to, go to the bathroom or whatever. Worrying about my equipment, worrying about something being stolen, that would really be super negative. Wow. I mean, I guess if I had an experience where I really busked in a good space and I did my best and I didn't get any tips or any positive feedback, that would break my heart. But I can't imagine that happening. It's overwhelmingly positive, really.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. It sounds like your experience here in Taiwan has been consistently positive, and
Yeah, really, yeah.
people have been very encouraging and supportive of your music.
Yeah, and also, I see other buskers also getting the same kind of attention and positive reinforcement. Like other buskers that may be better or not as good, they still get super positive reactions from the public.
Okay. I also think something that we touched on earlier affects the experience, which is that Taiwan is really safe. And so, like, some of the things you mentioned, maybe having to worry about your equipment or...
Yeah.
People here don't... I'm asking, people here aren't really rude to you, are they? Like, they don't come to you and put you down or do anything like that, right?
No, not at all. There's not even public drunkenness, like... where even good-natured people might become a bit offensive, No, like, overwhelmingly, if they don't like what I'm doing, they just walk past, Like, I've never even gotten an ugly look from anybody. Yeah, you know what? I think if I was in Taipei, in a poorer part, so to speak, like of Taipei, where there were maybe homeless people or beggars and stuff, I think they might be aggressive to someone in their space.
Ah, okay.
I'm just suspecting, and understandably. But so far, like I've found other, I don't want to say beggars, but like maybe somebody in a wheelchair with like lights and stuff, with their little box and whatever. They're also still super nice to me. So in Kaohsiung, I think I've only run into happy people somehow.
That's good. Okay,
Yeah.
so you've mainly busked in Kaohsiung then.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Understood.
And now I'm also looking at events all across Taiwan now.
Yes, don't worry. It's cool. Because I also know you do gigs, like you perform at, restaurants, bars, or
Yeah.
you're invited to perform at special events. If you had to compare the type of performing you do, busking and also at a special events place, what would be similar and what would be different?
Okay, well, it depends on the audience. So if it's Taiwanese people and it's in a restaurant, so then I will play the stuff that Taiwanese people always request. And I'll play stuff like Perfect from Ed Sheeran, Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis. So it's all slow, it's all slower, lower beat, kind of romantic. Yeah, just feel-good, moody songs.
Okay.
Hallelujah and What a Wonderful World and Imagine by John Lennon and stuff like that. So I'll play like the lower beat things, and then if I'm doing outdoor busking, then if it's really thousands of people passing by, right, like hundreds of people passing by, and nobody's sitting down yet, and I'm really just casting my net, then I'll go down my playlist and I'll play whatever catches my eye, and then it can be more upbeat, can be louder, can be something that fewer people know about that I love, that just sounds good. If I'm fishing, if I may use the term, if I'm fishing for fans, then I'll just play a really wide variety of stuff. If it's predominantly a Taiwanese crowd, then I'll focus on the things that like the hits in Taiwan, Ed Sheeran and Maroon 5 and Bruno Mars and Charlie Puth and all the like the girls ask for and the boys ask for too, and like Westlife and the Beatles, and then depending on who's sitting to listen, I'll pick my next song.
That's all for today. Don't forget to tune in again next week as we continue our conversation with Harry Swart.
This is Ching and Cho.
And Mary Ann Shoko. See you guys next week. Bye.